Sharpening Shoto shears. This is not for the faint of heart. I would recommend, if you get them that are nicked up, these are expensive shears. And they aren't easy to sharpen without messing them up. And if you have deep nicks in them, I recommend you sending them back. Even I don't sharpen some of these that have the deep nicks. I send them back to where the finishing work is done, which is in Taiwan. These are Japanese Damascus, called Tajusan steel. Many layered, very hard steel, very sharp edge. Very easy to nick. It doesn't mean that just because they're expensive you can cut anything. So let's see if I can get these nicks out, or if these are going to need to go to Taiwan. Now when these shears are made, they are made by one master shearsmith, or called sensei. Makes these shears from beginning to end. The alignment, the screw, everything is done by one person at our factory. A couple of things I want to show you. First of all, you see the little lettering and numbers in there? That tells me exactly which shear master made these, and they're numbered and they're kept together. Now I want you to look at the nicks that's in these shears. There's a big nick. You see it there? And there's some there. And as usual, like we do all shears, we work the rod line first. I'm really not going to go to anything finer than the 2000 grit. The 2000 grit is going to work fine even on these high-end shears. I have been known to go to finer grit, but I'm just so happy with this new Megowan stone that I think it's going to be fine for what I need. So I've cleaned these off. The red Sharpie is helpful. And my big trick is I don't want to take all these lines out that have been put in there. It's layered steel, but then they use an acid to make the different layers show up. And I don't want to polish over those. So I want to give it a nice sharp thin edge. Remove the nicks, but I don't want to take out the beauty of the Damascus steel. And in the factory, they're making and sharpening these shears with a flat hone. Now I want to set my clamp. I don't want to guess at the angle. I'm going to set my clamp. You see, normally the last shear I did was at 40. I'm going to move my clamp all the way up to 60. Might bring it down to 55, but we'll see how 60 does. And I'm going to go slower. Because you can always take off more metal. You can't add metal back on. And I'm using a worn 800. Yep, and that has pulled up a teeny tiny burr. Now, all I need is a teeny burr, but I need that burr bigger than the nicks. This is where I would take my nail, and I'm carefully running it down the outside. See, I can still feel a nick there. So right here, I need to work on getting some more metal off. A little bit more there. I don't want to take metal off below that Hammond line. That's where the last shiny part that's of the blade. So let's do this one. I might layer these edges. Same place, that deep nick right there. Going back and remove remove that burr that I have here. You can see it coming off. That teeny tiny burr. Yeah, they're still. That's a worn 800. I think I have a worn 1000. It's a little finer. Looks like I might need to clean this up a little bit too. This is my Swarf eraser. And I'm not really rocking this because I don't want to take those lines out. Still got a little bit of a nick right there. Do just a slight rock. Especially right here, I can actually see that nick here. Being very, very careful. Yeah, that burr is so tiny. I'll show you how tiny that burr is. And this is kind of what I want to accomplish. There it is. You see the little curly? See that it looks like a little hair? That's the size of the burr. Normally I would be getting a bigger burr, but I'm wanting to do the smallest burr possible and remove those nicks. A little bit more of a tilt down. I think we'll get this better. That may have it. Let's see. As I said, if it looks like I've got to take off too much metal, they're going back to Taiwan. I might do slight rocking here. Just slightly rocking, so I can get just more of a convex and a bevel. That looks good. This may have it. So I'm going back to the stone, removing any of that teensy, teensy, teensy burr that you saw, that little tiny curlicue. So now I want to polish. And normally I move this, see this is at 60. Normally I turn this and move this up maybe about 5 degrees. I'm just going to turn this up about, it's about 1 degree, just slightly. Might give it a little bit more diamond spray. A bit more polish. That looks good. I'm not feeling any nicks. I'm not pressing as hard as I usually do. I'm just kind of holding this up here lightly. And I'm going about 50% speed. That looks good too. I'm feeling some nicks on this one here though. Handy dandy 3000 grit nail buffer. Yep, they're all gone. Just clean it up, put it back together, and see how this cuts. On these high-end shears like this, less is more. So always take off the smallest amount of metal possible. And if you get into trouble, stop and send them to someone that knows maybe a little bit more familiar with those shears. I want that to feel nice and smooth going down because I know she slide cuts. And remember, our regular shears are normally like a 45-degree angle. Some are 40. These I did at 60. Only our fishbone is 60 degrees. And the Shotos, of course. And this is an unusual screw. There's my little UFO tool. If you put things always back where they belong, do as I say and not as I do, you will be in less trouble. Sometimes the screws on this shear are very, very difficult, and I have to get one of the guys to put that screw in. Very easy to cross thread it. The screw is designed that once it gets its place, it stays there. This was sent to me by a sharpener I trained, and he's a little apprehensive, and rightly so, in sharpening these Shotos. Because these sell for, normally they sell for like $8.98. Now I know there's a lot of shears on the market that sell for more than this, but I don't think there's any shear on the market that is any better than this. And I'm cutting slow, because that catches things fast, doesn't catch. And I might loosen them just a tad. Oh, that feels better. Make sure they still cut now that they're looser. Yes. So if you have any doubts, if you get a Shoto in, and these are beautiful shears, just take it easy. Don't do so much that someone else can't fix it. These are great shears, but they do get nicked when they fall on the floor. Make sure that if you own these, that you have a sharpener that knows how to sharpen these and knows what to do with them. And that's the Bonika Shotos. We have a lot of other Bonika shears, and I show videos on how to sharpen them and all kinds of sharpening. So make sure you subscribe and that you watch my other videos.